All right, so you gave a speech recently on the urgency of the now, especially as it involves salvaging a failing nation for posterity, for the generations to come after us. So to the young entrepreneur, to the young professional listening, how can you communicate so that they get the need for this urgency, as you so articulated?
Yeah, so most of the time, people come to the earth thinking that their time on the earth is infinite. Like, they are gods and, they are promised 100 years, right, to do what they are meant to do, their purpose, or, to achieve that business or to, build that family. The truth is, in Nigeria, right, there's really nothing that is promised, right?
True.
So a couple of persons will say, oh, they are going to politics or they are going to start that business when maybe they are 40, when they are 50, when they've accumulated so many money, so much funds and capital that they can start. But really, the urgency is in it now, because it's little drops of water that eventually makes an ocean, right? So it's about taking action now. If all you can do, especially in national development, especially now that, next year we're looking towards politics, if all you can do is convince 10 persons to get their voter's card, you have contributed. I grew up in Kaduna State, where I saw a couple of religious riots, right? And I saw that there was a difference, a stark difference between us that stayed in so-called GRAs, right, with tons of educated people, how they responded during those riots, and with those people that had no hope, no vision, no education, how they responded during that riot. I will leave you to, just imagine how the response were. During the riots, we'll be walking amongst different religions, amongst ourselves, greeting ourselves, like normal brothers. I mean, we're all educated, do you understand? But far in the sky, you'll be seeing flames, right? But at some point, we always felt, right, that, oh, okay, that is a certain sect of people, right, that maybe do not have financial access, So until a certain time came and my mom was stuck in the market when one of those riots happened. Then it struck my mind that if we do not start helping these guys, one day our own blood, our own flesh, maybe ourselves, will be struck by the riot that is sweeping our nation, both economic riots, socio-economic riots, political riots. There is a riot going on and nobody is interested in calming that flame. We all believe that, oh, we're in Abuja, Abuja is safe. But just some years ago, Boko Haram was, by our doorstep. So everyone needs to come to that state where they feel that urgency to help develop the nation. If you are doing a business, do the business excellently well, not just because you want to break even and make a profit, but because you strongly believe that this will give an opportunity for another person to get employment, give an opportunity for, whether from any tribe, somebody else to get an education through scholarships or through your humanitarian services. Do that business, understanding that the nation relies on you, and even if you are contributing just a bit, by tons of other persons contributing, at some point we can see development in Nigeria start to really grow. I don't personally point to government for the challenges in Nigeria. I am of the school of thought that if there's somebody that is a god, right, it's because people made that person a god. True. So if that person is unaccountable, is that there's still some people around that person worshiping that person, right, and that, just crowning that person, right? But if we start to decide that the urgency is in the now, it's left for you and me, whether Yoruba, Hausa, or Igbo, to put our differences and set up long-lasting business, generational business, then really at some point we'll start to see the impact on the economy of Nigeria, and it will give people so much more, like give so many other people in underserved community access to education, access to water, access to a couple of things that just makes, the nation unsteady. So I would tell anybody any day, if you do not feel that urgency when you wake up, if you don't feel that urgency when you even if you're a government staff working in a government organization, if you don't feel that urgency to do things right, then most likely, I would like to leave you with this: you've slipped into the matrix.
Slipped into the matrix. Okay. Before we let you go, to a young business person who's listening, saying, yeah, he's speaking that because his business is successful, He has done it. I mean, he's talking about foreign funding. He has gotten to that point. So it's easy to start thinking public interest. Me, I'm still owing salaries here. I couldn't give Christmas bonuses. I'm barely, like, my stuff is not selling. So I'm just here to try and put my head above water to meet the bottom line. What interest do I have in public service, in nation building? You can say that because yours is successful. So what do you say to that young, struggling Nigerian entrepreneur that even at this point, there's something you can do to start giving back, to start building the nation?
Okay, I would say, so one of the few things that, the reason why a couple of us, had access to good education is because maybe at some point your parents had to struggle, right? But yet again, right, what's the aim of struggling if eventually you struggle and at the point of rest there is riot, right? At the point of rest, you do not have a nation left. At the point of rest, all you have is debts in your nation, like massive debt that, we have to cater with 55 to 60% of the budget to pay back. Then what then is a nation? What then is the point of a business that all you do is just pay tax? Because at some point, we'd have to service those debts. And how do we service those debts? It's not, oil, everything is changing in the whole world. True. Electricity, Volkswagen is set to take over from Tesla at some point in the projections for producing electric cars. Do you understand? So what really can you do right now? What you can do is to, with the small 5,000 you have, send a child to a public school. You don't necessarily need 100,000. You don't even necessarily need 1 million. But start the small thing. Look for people in your community that you can help. You can save money and buy, there's this Singer machine for sewing, and give a widow that has kids. Let her children not just be on the streets. So it's about being self-aware of what is happening around you. There are people around you, even if you employ them to even do laundry for you, even if they are appreciative, and pay them. Do you understand? So it's not about just saying, oh, okay, this person has a lot of money, that's why this person wants to give back. No, it's about developing the attributes of a servant leader. And basically, model the way, inspire a shared vision, challenge the process, encourage others to act. Those are important. So you give them the platform. If all you can do is give that person the platform to go to a public school to get an education and graduate, you have started contributing to nation building. So it doesn't mean like, oh, you must be at the House of Reps saying, no, I object, nay, no. Start to contribute in your little ways. Many people do it indirectly in their churches, right? Yeah. But yet again, it's not just about doing it in church. It's about taking it to the streets, taking it to the layman on the streets. We need to come to a point in Nigeria that when we are really touched by the suffering of another man, not because, oh, we have it or want to flaunt it on social media. Many of the programs we do in Self-Lead, we don't even put it on social media, right? But because we really want people's lives to be changed, and not because we want them to always come and be saying, Ogami sir, anything for your boy, sir. No. We want them to be able to come and say, oh, thank you so much, I graduated with a 2-1, I got a job with, this or that company, and I'm doing well. I'm planning to sponsor this or that person to school just to keep the trend going and all that. So I think everybody needs to come to that place where we feel that, urgency of the now and just take action.
All right, wonderful conversation with Oyewole Joledo. As you've heard, being a servant leader is the way to go. You're an entrepreneur, you're a young person in the business spaces, start where you are. Like the good book says, if you're faithful with little, then you'll be faithful with more. Like we always say here on The Reawakening Nigeria, Nigeria must work. Nigeria can work. Nigeria will work, but only if we all work. Thank you.